Hi guys, it's Lanickia again, and I am coming to you with Claws Season 2, Episode 1. No, Season 1, Episode 2. Sorry about that. So it picks up right where it left off last week as far as Desna and Virginia having shot Roller. Well, Virginia having shot Roller for Desna because she was trying to protect her. So from that point, and it's really good because then they're trying to figure out a way of what to do, and so Virginia is panicking because she just shot Roller and she's scared, and so Desna is telling her, just follow my lead or whatever, and she's talking to her kind of rough, and Virginia was like, well, you can't talk to me like that anymore because I helped you out, and Desna's pretty much like, we don't have time for this, we gotta move this body. So they put Roller in like I guess I don't know what kind of bag that was. I guess it was like a ski bag or something they put him in. So they put him in it, and then they start rolling him or dragging him down the lanai and the deck and everything. And so they make it to the area, and they uncover the deck, and they find out it's another body in there. So once they see this, they get all scared. They're like freaking out. But they go ahead and put Roller in there, and Virginia's like, well, at least he won't be alone. Silly. So then they get the lighter fluid, and they pretty much set him on fire. So once they set him on fire, they unhook the boat, and they let it just roll away. And that's pretty much what happens to Roller. He they set him on fire, they let him roll away, and they start now remember, okay, so there's a part in this where Desna is asking Virginia, what are you doing? And she was trying to put his grill in, and I'm like, girl, y'all be leaving fingerprints everywhere. Why didn't you just leave the grill alone or whatever? Just let it go. But anyway, so they go back to go inside the house, and they're trying to come up with a plan. And so Desna is telling Virginia, just follow my lead, do what I say, I'll straighten everything out with the girls, you just gotta act normal, act natural or whatever. But they're both really shook, but Desna is like trying to pull it together more, because of course she has Dean she has to look out for. So Desna is trying to make it look like a shooting, but she can't get the gun to work, or she can't load the gun. So Virginia comes out and she loads the gun, and I'm like, it's like there's more to Virginia than she's letting on, because she knew how to load that gun too easily. So I want to see what's really going to be going on with that. But anyways, so then Virginia and Desna shoot. Well, Desna shoots up the place, and Virginia and Desna leave, or Desna drops Virginia off at home, and she tells her, I'm picking you up tomorrow, so just, I'm gonna text you, I'll call you, let you know, and I'll come pick you up and take you to the shop or whatever. And so they leave it at that. So then they show Desna actually going to I guess a lake or somewhere, because now it's night. Like, all of this happened during the daytime, so now it's night. And they show Desna going to a lake. Sorry about that. And she's throwing the gun or whatever. And when she gets back in the car, she gets a call from Jennifer. They showed a clip of Jennifer's husband. I guess he's a motivational speaker or whatever. Because remember, Uncle Daddy said last week he was the good son, because he's trying to change his life. He doesn't want to be in trouble. He wants to, make the right choice and everything. So they showed them, and Jennifer is asking Desna if she's coming to his, because I guess he has an engagement that night, and Desna's like, no, I can't make it, because Desna really forgot, because she got a lot of stuff going on with Roller. Excuse me. Sometimes how if you're natural, you have that extra hair. I thought it was that, but so. After Jennifer asks Desna, you sound stressed, is everything okay? And Desna's like, yeah, everything's good, everything is just fine, tell your husband I'll catch him next time. So they get off the phone or whatever, And Desna almost throws up because you remember Roller is Jen's husband, who I think is Sean. That's his brother. So, and that's Jennifer. Roller is Jennifer's brother-in-law. So it's like she can't even tell. Like, Jen would probably be the one person, or the ladies would probably be the person she would tell, but she can't tell them because she can't tell Jen that, hey, I killed your brother. I helped burn your brother-in-law's body. So from there, Des, we show Des making it home, and she's talking to her brother, and asking him. He's doing his drawings and everything. So we see that, and then from there we see that Desna did actually take the money, because in another scene earlier in last week's episode, we saw where she was she really just went to Roller's house to get money. She wanted her money, and that was the only reason she really went to his house or whatever. So we see that she did get the money, so she got the extra money. So we know she's probably going to be able to open her shop because she has that extra money. So from there, so then the next thing we know, she's in the bed, and she wakes up, and she's having a nightmare because she's dreaming that Roller is choking her the way she choked him. So that was her nightmare, or whatever. So we're just, we know that, like, it's, of course it's going to bother her or whatever, but honestly, I don't see, like, even though I know it's fictional and everything, but how else was she gonna get out this lifestyle? Because you could already tell, like, he had no plans for her getting out of this lifestyle. So anyways, she tries to contact Virginia, and Virginia is not answering any of her messages. Like, she's not contacting her back whatsoever. So she can't reach her. She's tried calling, she's tried texting, but she can't reach her at all. And so we cut to her brother trying to make her happy, and he's telling her, stand on your leg and all that. But she does laugh, but she's still trying to find Virginia, because at this point they're in this together. Like, you can't go MIA because we're in this together, and I need to know what you're doing so you can know what I'm doing. And that's how pretty much what it is. So then we go to the shop, and Polly tells Quiet Ann, hey, there's been a woman outside, like, scoping the place or whatever. So Quiet Ann looks outside, and it's, of course, the married woman. So she goes out there, and the married woman has croissants, and she's making some kind of dirty conversation about the croissants. And Quiet Ann could tell right now, like, she is way more involved than I am involved. So she wants to leave her alone. So she tells her she has to have surgery on her tongue, and all this woman can think about is, I hope everything is okay with it, because she wants. I hope they are able to fix it. That's all this woman can think about. So you can tell, like, she wasn't really into their relationship. But then she said, like, tell me what hospital, and I'll send you some banana nut bread. And silly. So the girls, so Des keeps trying to call Virginia or whatnot, and she can't reach her. And I want to say, before that, Des had went by Virginia's apartment, and she wasn't there, and so she left her number with the roommate and told the roommate to call her. So when Des finally makes it to the shop, Virginia's not there, of course, and she keeps trying to call her, and she's not there. So but she receives a phone call from Mandy, and Mandy tells her, hey, she doesn't say it, but she kind of implies that there's going to be a secret shopper, so you need to be on your P's and Q's. You need to treat her well, so that she'll be able to you'll be able to pass, and you'll go ahead and get into this boutique. Which I guess that's different, because I didn't know, because once you put in your deposit and all that, why would somebody be able to come and do a secret shopping and decide yes or no you can be in? I wouldn't. Like, you've already paid your deposit. If you don't want me in there, you need to do that first before I pay a deposit. That's how I feel. That's how I would do it. I'd be like, I can't pay my deposit if if I'm not guaranteed or whatever. So I've never heard of that, but I guess that does happen because why I guess it does happen, but I've never heard of that or anything. All right, so then after they get off the phone, they're happy, they're doing nails or whatever, and then Polly says, "Jen, your husband is outside." So Jen's husband is outside, and he's really upset because he's and Jen's trying to find out what's going on, but he can't speak. So Des and the girls come outside, and Des is like, "What's going on?" And he was like, "They can't find Roller. You know, there was blood on the lanai, and it matches Roller's blood or whatever." And they're like, "Oh my God!" And Des looks grief stricken because one, she really is sad or whatever, and two, she's also knows what she's done, and she knows now that they found out, you know, that he's missing and everything, that this could all eventually be tied back to her. So she's upset. She goes into the office and she tells the ladies, "You know, I'm so scared." And I think, you know, they're thinking that she's speaking about, "I'm so scared about him being missing," but of course she's talking about, "I'm so scared because, you know, of what she and Virginia have done." I mean, it's just it's a real good show, and I don't know it's a really good show. Okay, so, and another thing too, as Des is speaking to Jen's husband, the Russians come. You can see the Russians go through. So I don't know what's going to happen with them. Like, I'm not sure what exactly is going to happen, but I guess we'll see in these next 3 episodes. So then they cut to Quiet Ann is dropping Polly off because Polly has to do her community service, because you know she defrauded all those people. So now Polly has to make up for all that and do her community service or whatever. And she and Quiet Ann are just talking, and she's like, "Thank you for dropping me off. That's so nice." And she's like, "I think Desna really loved Roller more than she thought because she's taking this really hard or whatever." And she was just telling about, you know, how you could think, you know, it's just sex, but you end up having true feelings. And so Quiet Ann starts telling her about it's Quiet Ann for a reason, but she makes mention of the married woman. And Polly Ann was like, "You need to let her go." Polly, I don't know why I keep calling her Polly Ann, but Polly was like, "You need to let her go." I saw a twitch in her eye. She's all kinds of crazy, which I thought that too. I was like, "Oh, this woman." I don't know why married people do that. Because you see it all the time. Like, I know about it in real life as well as you see it on movies, where they'll have these affairs, and for some reason they'll become obsessed with the person that they're having an affair with. And it's like, wait a minute, like, that's just supposed to be your side piece. Why are you getting all in your feelings about this person when it's not even supposed to be that deep? But they make it that deep, and then they start getting all emotional and started acting out. I mean, you see I've seen that happen in real life, and I've seen that happen on the movies and in the TV shows and stuff. So I don't know why people do that. So anyways, then we cut back to Des, and she's entertaining all the ladies, talking to them and everything, pouring the cucumber water because she knows the secret shopper will be there, so she's trying to put on her best show. So then we go back to Polly at community service, and Polly is with these girls she's having to do it with, which I don't know why she's with these girls. Maybe they're in trouble. They have trouble children or something, but she's doing it with them, or maybe they're just doing it for extra credit. Because I used to do that for extra credit. You know, when you go to college and you do stuff like that, it looks good on your application. So maybe that's why she's doing it. But anyways, so the girls, and they're gotta be teenagers, they're in high school and stuff, they want to know why she went to jail or prison. And so she's like, if I tell you, it's gotta be a secret or whatever. So she goes ahead and tells them that it feels like I've done this video for some reason. I'm gonna have to look at that, because everything I'm saying, it feels like I've already said this. So it feels like I've done this video. I'm gonna have to check my my thing, my, you know how you have all your videos, because this is feeling so familiar. Anyways, guys, so Polly starts telling these girls about really, oh God, who's that woman was it back in the 90s or 2000s when she had, like, her clientele was Charlie Sheen. What was that woman's name? Oh my gosh, I hate that I can't remember it. But they made a movie. Heidi Flynn. Was it Heidi Flynn? Anyways, they made a movie and everything about her. Like, she had top name celebrities on her roster, like they were paying for sex, and she was supplying them with the girls and everything. Dang, I cannot believe I can't remember her name, because like that, that was a big deal, because she had big names on her list that they found. But anyway, so it's Polly starts telling them a story, and she's really telling them about that. But it's like, Polly, you defrauded people. So I don't know why she's lying. I don't know why she's telling these girls this. And then her voice changed and everything. Is too funny. So I like that scene because it was cute. It was cute. It was funny because it's like, I don't know why Polly is lying. But anyways, so Des asks Polly, gives Polly a call as Polly is walking out from her community service, and tells her, can you go ahead and go to the shop for me? I really need you there. Dean is sick. She lies and tells her Dean's sick, but what she's really doing is scoping out Virginia's apartment. And so a girl comes out that she thinks it's Virginia, but it's not completely. So we move on from that. Oh my God, y'all. So this is like, I was like, is this a damn dark comedy? Because we go to the Roller's house. I guess it's Roller's house. And the father is there. Uncle Daddy is there. And, Jen and her husband. And all these people are there. And the detective rolls up. And the detective, he's like, you could tell what's going on in front of all these people. We're all family here or whatever. So the detective says, I'm sorry to tell you this, but we found Roller, or what was left of him. So pretty much the gators and the fire got to Roller, which is, ooh, when you think about dying, that's a horrible death. At least he couldn't feel it, because they already shot him, so he couldn't feel it. But when you think about it, that's a horrible way, like, because that really happens. So that's horrible. But So then Uncle Daddy's like, oh, they took my boy. So his wife tries to console him, and he throws her off of him. Well, then she gets mad, and she punches him. And then he punches her back. And it's just a hot mess. That was the stupidest scene. It was the funniest, stupidest scene. I'm like, are you serious right now? Are y'all really doing this? So then he's like, oh, I'm sorry, baby. So she gives him a hug or whatever, and I guess they make up, and oh my gosh, it's just the dumbest. So then they cut to a scene where the Uncle Daddy is outside punching a car, and his little boy, which is not, well, you know how I mean his little, but I guess his, what did I call him? Anyways, the guy that he's messing with, which is, here's his wife. Then they have the guy he's messing with, and it's like, this is the weirdest whole scene going on. But anyway, he's punching the car, and the little boy is like, Daddy, stop, Daddy, please, or whatever. I'm like, go to the next scene. Go to the next scene. This is weird. It's weird, and it's funny though. It was funny, but it was just weird. Oh, so then Des makes it home because she's been looking for Virginia. And so Des then makes it home, and she finds out, and she tells Dean about Roller, and she didn't realize that Dean and Roller were that close. So Dean gets upset, and she's trying to calm Dean down, and Uncle Daddy tells her, come here. So she goes to Uncle Daddy at the shop because he tells her to go there. So she goes there, and he's like, where's and he's just talking about they found Roller or whatever. And of course she's really crying because she is upset, but she's also very scared. So it's a lot of emotions going on, so she can look the part of the grieving girlfriend. So Uncle Daddy was like, you loved him, didn't you? And she doesn't say nothing. She doesn't say anything. And then he's like, where were you? When the last time you saw him? And she tells him about, threading Roller's eyebrows that day. And he was like, well, how was he acting? And she was like, he was jumpy. He was jumpy. I never seen him like that. So she was just telling him all of that information or whatever. And he was pretty much like, Roller wasn't scared of anything. And she was like, I know. That's why it was so weird that he was like that or whatever. And she's really covering her tracks, to make it sound like, well, since the place was shot up, he was seeming scared, so he must have been into something else. So Uncle Daddy was like, where's Virginia? Where's she at? And she was like, she went to visit her sick mom or whatever. He was like, don't you think it's strange that she disappears? She was like, no, the mom was sick or whatever. So she's trying to cover for Virginia because, again, they're in this together. So he says, well, whenever you see Virginia, you tell her, you bring her to me or whatever. So he pretty much thinks Virginia has something to do with this, which we all know she does. And Desna is trying to cover that completely up because the last thing she wants to do is put pressure on Virginia, who might flip and tell on her. So they show Des going back to Virginia's house, and it's all trash. Like, they've went in there and they've all trashed it up. So Uncle Daddy probably was in there, and the roommate is like, did you do that? And she was like, the roommate, Virginia's roommate, was like, did you do this? And she was like, no, I'm trying to find Virginia. And Desmond was like, do you know anywhere she could be? And she was like, somewhere in her happy place by the sea or someplace. So Des is in her bedroom, and she looks and she sees a place where she thinks Virginia has went. So then they cut to the doctor the doctor who does all of the drugs and does the prescriptions and all of that. He's pretty much the cover-up man. They go to him coming into the shop, and they were supposed to have a secret shopper. So Jennifer is doing a lady's nails, and then Polly is doing a lady's nails, and they're both thinking this is probably the secret shopper. So the doctor is acting all crazy because he's scared, and he was like, I can't have that much money in there, the kind of people I have around me or whatever. But he takes them away from their clients, and so both the clients leave, and we find out it was the Asian girl who was the secret shopper, because Mandy calls Desna later on and says, I told you to be on your P's and Q's, and she was like, what had happened? And she was like, the client left with wet nails. And the reason we know it was Desna, the Asian lady, is because they were so busy trying to help the older white lady, because they thought that was who it was, because it did look like she was the secret shopper, because the Asian lady just came in regular clothes. She just looked like just an average young woman, and the older white lady looked like she was distinguished and had a great career, whatever. So that's why I would have thought that too, because the Asian white lady just looked like a regular woman, just an average Joe, like any one of us going in there just to get our nails done. So but the reason we know it was her is because she said she was ignored, which they were so busy trying to help the other woman that they did ignore her, and they said she left with wet nails, and she didn't get her nails dried. So that's how we know it was her. So Desna is pretty much like, dang. And so Desna has lost her opportunity to be in the shop because she failed the secret shopper. And I'm like, is she gonna get her deposit back? Because that's a lot of money. So Desna doesn't have time to deal with that, but she finally finds Virginia, and Virginia runs when she sees Desna. And Desna, I'm like, what kind of run is that? Like, if y'all watch that, look at how Virginia is running. So Desna knocks her down, and she pulls her back in and takes her to the room or whatever. And she's like, why did you run? Like, you've made matters worse by running. And she was like, I didn't know if you were working for Uncle Daddy. You could be working for Uncle Daddy now. So I didn't know. So that's why I ran. I was scared, and I didn't know if you were going to turn on me. So pretty much Desna is like, we're in this together. Like, I'm not leaving you, you're not leaving me. So you need to pull yourself together, and that's it. So then when Desna is about to leave, because she tells Virginia, you do whatever I say, and Virginia agrees. So when Desna is about to leave, Virginia's like, can you just stay with me until I sleep? So that lets you know Virginia wants this lifestyle that Desna has, but she's still just a young girl. So that's the end of that scene. So the next scene, oh my gosh, the married woman. So the married woman comes and she's banging her truck against Quiet Ann's van. And she's mad at Quiet Ann because she found out Quiet Ann did not have surgery. Quiet Ann just didn't want to be with her. So she's all upset. And Desna is like, you need to fix this to Quiet Ann because she doesn't want this around her shop. So she's like, you need to fix this, yada yada yada, do whatever you have to do. So Quiet Ann has to give in to the girl, and she gives her a kiss or whatever, just to get the girl to leave. Just to get her to leave, because she was going crazy with that crowbar. Just a mess. And that's what I said, like, why do married people do that? Like, I see that all the time. It's like, you're married, you don't have a right to demand someone feel any type of way towards you. Just crazy. So then we see that Jen's husband and Jennifer meet with Uncle Daddy, and he wants Jennifer's husband to take Roller's place, and Jennifer is having none of that. She does not want him involved with it. But of course, Jennifer's husband, Bryce, that's his name, Jennifer's husband Bryce, kind of wants to do it because he Uncle Daddy is taking care of them, and Uncle Daddy calls him a son, yada yada yada. So he kind of wants to do it because Uncle Daddy is playing that guilt trip on him, but really Uncle Daddy wants to keep that money rolling in. So then we go to this ghetto fabulous funeral. I didn't realize where they were filming, and then my husband and I were watching it, and he says, is this New Orleans? And I was like, oh yeah, they actually filmed this in Louisiana and some places. I have to look it up. But oh my god, they were going down the street, they had his picture, they had the girl, they had strippers, they had the cars with the strip pole in the back, and I was like, oh my god, what the heck is this? It was just the most ghetto fabulous. And it wasn't even fabulous. It's just ghetto. I can't. So then they that's the little parade, or whatever you call it. So then they get to the funeral, and I guess they show Uncle Daddy. I don't know what they showed Uncle Daddy, but he's like all on the ground, boo, a mess. It was so, oh my god, it was such a mess. I was like, this has to be the most ghetto fabulous funeral. And then they cut to reception, and they're blowing trees, like they're smoking and drinking, and the strippers are dancing, and I'm like, what the heck is this? And everyone is coming up to Desna, and they're like, telling her, I know you loved him and everything. She's like, how do all these people know my business? Because all these women are coming up to her telling her this. And then they cut to Uncle Daddy getting up, and he's singing a song, a religious song. And at the end of his song, all of a sudden, earlier Desna was like, Virginia, where are you? WTF. But then all of a sudden the door burst open, and Virginia falls to the ground, and she's like, help me. And so everybody's like, what's going on? And Virginia's like, they told me they were gonna kill me, like they did him. And of course Desna realized what's going on, so she's all over, okay baby, we're gonna take care of you, we're gonna do everything. And Uncle Daddy is looking, and Polly and Quiet Ann were looking like so, but that's the way it ended, with Virginia busting in all beat up. I don't know who she got to beat her up, but that's how it ended. And so that was Cause season 1, episode 2. It's really good. I enjoyed it. I like this show. It's different, so I like it. So I'm gonna keep watching, keep reviewing. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks.